What is data manipulation with pandas all about? Data manipulation with pandas is just a way of showing you how to work with pandas, to clean data, to view data, to read data. Pandas is a very good library that you can use to read your dataset, to view your dataset, to do some manipulations and cleaning in Python. Let's just dive right into it. Some people get confused when working with large data sets. During analysis, they find it difficult to analyze the data set. Data is an art of every organization. Customer record, transaction, operation logs, product catalogs, much of it stores in files and spreadsheets. Python Pandas library is one of the most popular tools for loading, exploring, and manipulating these data. Whether you're pursuing a career in data or simply you want to answer business questions yourself, Pandas is a skill you must be ready to work with daily. It is the most widely used data manipulation library in Python and the foundation for virtually every data role that Python uses. Data manipulation is important mainly when you are dealing with stores and records. How do you calculate your revenue? How do you know the sales? How do you make predictions of stores, of supermarkets, of businesses without using pandas? Let's look at how to go about using pandas in making great analysis for sales and for other organizations similar. It's just a manipulation operation where you're working with different data, getting different insights. Even with a moderate amount of data, it can be challenging to capture meaningful patterns or insight by simply looking at the raw numbers. Summarizing data allows us to wrap up our minds around it. It answers practical questions and helps us to draw conclusions from large data sets. Let's look at it in the practical sense. Data aggregation is one of the most powerful operations available for working with data, and you will use it constantly in financial analysis. As input data, we have a table ordered, stored in a variable called ordered df. Now we already have a data set that we're going to use to analyze. We're going to analyze the data using pandas. Now if you check the comment section, I'm going to drop the data set for you so that you can use it to practice alongside with this video. Now the data set is order.csv. That's the name of the data set. But when we want to name the variable, as we're working on it and want to name the variable, we'll name it order_df. In Python, we refer to a table of data as data frame. Data frame. So data frame is a table of data that have rows and columns. So you call it what? A data frame. So the df suffix is a common convention that indicates the variable holds a data frame. That's why we want to say, okay, if once we are naming our variable, we'll name it order_df. The data set itself is order.csv. So that's why we name it order_df, making code more readable. It makes it more meaningful. It makes you to understand is the exact thing that you are doing. Now let's move on to the analysis. When you want to start analyzing using pandas, the first thing that you're supposed to do is to import the libraries. So the first thing is you must import the library. when you're doing your analysis and you want to make use of a particular library, you need to import it. What is a library called? Like pandas now is a library. So if you want to use pandas, you need to import it first before using it. So we'll say import pandas as pd. Now why do they use pd? Pd is like an alias for pandas. So when you're working, instead of typing pandas everywhere, you just type only pd. When you want to use pandas, you type pd. When you have stated it here as import pandas as pd. But if you just say import pandas and you didn't put as pd, it means that as you're working on the next line, as you're working on the next row, here you will have it as pandas and not pd. So we make use of this alias pd to make it shorter. So instead of writing pandas when you are reading the data set, you only use the pd. You are referring to pandas as pd here. Okay, so now that you have done that, we import the library. We've imported pandas as pd. Then we'll go to the next step. Then we name our variable. The variable, I name it order_df, that to show that is a data frame. After you have named the variable equal to, you have to read your data set. Pandas pd, pandas please read this data set is a csv file. Now what's the name of the data set you want it to read on your system? Now the data set I want you to read is called orders.csv. So the this data set is already saved on my system, orders.csv. So that's what I want it to do, what to read. Now if I click on this, it runs this cell. Pandas please read this data set for me. So pandas will go to your laptop and look for this data set for you. Now the next step, it has gone to do that for you. How do you now view it? When you use the command .head, .head helps you to read, to see, view the first 5 data sets. It helps you to view the first 5 data sets. So you use the variable name. This is the variable name, orders_df.head. Please, I want to read the first data set of this variable. So whichever name you have called it here, the name you have here, that's what you're going to have here. Okay, the variable name, that's what you're going to have here. So the head. So you have the first 5 data sets: the ID, the order date, the ship mode, the customer. First 5 data sets: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Python start is counting from 0. So that's why you have 0 here. So 0 is the first counter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the first 5 data sets. This is the first 5 data sets. You have viewed it. So okay, now we want to also view the last 5 data sets. The same way you have head, you have tail. So tail is the last. While head, you are looking at the first 5. Then tail is you are looking at the last 5. So let's see what the data look like. The last 5. Let's see what it looks like. So I want to. So order.tail to get the last 5. Order.tail. Now order_df.tail. Let's run the code so you can see the last 5 data sets. This is the tail. So this is the last 5 data sets. So it means that the data set ends at what? It ends at 5,008 rows. 5,008 rows. So this is the last 5 using .tail. Now if you want to get the number of rows and columns that this data set have, you want to get the number of rows and columns that this data set have, what are you going to do? So you are going to use dot shape. Dot what? Dot shape. So dot shape helps you to get the number of rows and columns. We want to get the number of rows and columns that this data set have. I've already shown you here from the last that it means it has 5008 columns, because when we did dot tail, it shows us the entire end of the data set, the last 5. So let's see dot shape. So others underscore df dot shape. So whatever name you have called your variable, that's what you're going to type here. Then you put what? Dot shape. I want to know how many rows and columns this data set have. So you use dot shape. So let's run the code. So can you see that it has 5009 rows and 5 columns. 5009 rows and 5 columns. So that's what we have here. Dot shape, viewing the shape of the data set. It has 5009 rows and 5 columns. So let's still view more. Now when you have dot head and dot tail, if you want to view more than the first 5, you can indicate the number here. So why do you view that? Let's assume one of the customer you're looking for, the number of the customer fall within the first 50. That's why you want to do that. Or you first between the first 10. So all you need to do is to put the number 10 or the number 50 in this parenthesis. So let's try out that. So it means that you can get more than just the first 5. You can view more than the first 5. You can view as many things that you want to view. You can even decide to view a range depending on what you want to view. So let's look at that. So I want to fix in 20. So I'm saying, oh, the information that I need is within the first 20 rows. Is within the first 20 rows. So I want to view that. So you can see, so you have from 0 is going to 20 to 20. Okay, so you have 19 here because he started from 0. So 0 is part. That's why you have 19 as the last one. So that's 20. That's 20 altogether. Okay, so this is how you bring out insights from your data set. You bring out insights from your data set. You view it. Now you have used the dot shape, dot head, dot tail. Now let's use another function. Let's use dot the type. So dot the type, you're trying to say, show me what type is my data set. What type is my data set? Show me. That means you want to know the type of the data set that you have. I have a video on data type, so you can go ahead and watch that video so that when you see data type, you understand what we are saying. So this is dot the type. You use your variable name, order underscore df, dot the type. So id is what? Is an integer. That's what this is saying. int means an integer. The other date is an object. The ship is an object. The customer ID is an object. And it says is a float. Floats are decimal numbers. Okay, so that's what it means. Let's see an example of what we're saying. So let's see an example. So the ship mode is an object. Is an object. It's a string. Okay, is a string. Is an object. Why? Other dates is an object. We have it here. order date is an object, ship mode is an object, customer ID is an object, and then the sales is a float. Float is a decimal number. So what did we do here? We just want to view our data types. We want to view the data type of the data set. You're viewing the data type of what? The data set. So let's look at another thing that we can do. We can also use a function called .info. .info. I want to get all the information about the data set. I want to get all the information about the data set. So I'm not using .head again here. I'm going to use .info. .info. So this is variable name .info. So whatever variable name you have, so if you are using another variable, all you need to do is just change this variable name and then you continue with the what? .info. So let's see. You see, so this is the information about this data set. It said it's a class of Panda called frame, data frame. It has the range index of 5009 entries, 0 to 5008. That's why when we did the last 5, we got 5008. Why? Because it started from 0. Okay, 0 is also included, but the total entry is what? 5009. The shape gave us 5009 rows and 5 columns. So here under the info you can see that you have data column, total column is 5 column. So let's look at it. This is the ID, no non-value, no non-value. So what does this mean? It means that the data are complete. 5009, 5009, 5009, they are complete. There is no missing value. There is a complete information that is given here. So that's what this means. It's giving you the entire info of the data set. The entire info of the data set. So the data set have 5 columns. The first one ID, second one order date, third one shipped mode, the fourth one customer ID, and then the last one the sales. So it has 5 columns and then it has 5009 rows, 5009 rows. So that's just the .info of it. So let's look at another one. Let's look at the next one. Okay, so let's use the function .describe. .describe. So I would like to take out this head and change it to what? Describe. What does .describe do? .describe gives you the statistical analysis of your data set. It shows you the statistical analysis of your data set. So look at, it's bringing out information for the data set that are numeric, because you are asked it to do some statistical analysis of the data set. So look at it here. The count is 5009, which is same with the sales. The mean is this and this for both. This is the standard deviation. This is the minimum value. This is the 25 percentile, 50 percentile, 75 percentile, and this is the maximum value. So it gives us direct statistical analysis of these data sets. So let's look at another one. Order underscore df dot columns. So it's going to show us all the columns that we have. That's what you're asking it to do. List the columns that I have for me. So you can see the columns. We have index, that's the ID, the order date, the ship mode, the customer ID, the sales. So these are the columns. You are saying, please show me the columns. Okay, so there are more. Let's look at order dot unique. So what does dot unique shows you? It shows you if you have unique values. It shows all. Now we've checked the number of columns, seeing that we have 5 columns: ID, order date, ship mode, customer ID, sales. Now let's check out for null values. How do we check out for null value? We want to be sure that this data set is complete. It does not have any missing value. So we use the code is null dot sum. We use the code is null dot sum. That okay, go ahead, check all the data set and check if we have missing values. So let's check. So you can see it's giving 0 0 0. 0 means there are no missing values. So if you see 1 here, it means under ID, that means there is 1 missing value. But with this data set 0 0 0, it means there are no missing values. There are no missing values, a complete data. So let's assume there is a compensation plan for customers, and then you want to give gift to the customers that have that purchase over 2,000 naira products, So how do you do that? You're going to say that this is your data frame, this is your variable, order underscore df. So I'm bringing your data, this is my data now. So order dot df, go to sales. Okay, that's the column we want to use. Go to sales. So when you put a square bracket, this is a list. Okay, check my video on list. This is a list. You are now saying go to sales and pick the sales that is 2,000 naira and above. So we want to know the customers that purchase from us, that purchase items that is 2,000 naira and above. So let's run it. So we have the name of the customers here, the dates when that purchase was made, so we have the customers, we have their names, and we have the amount. The customer with the ID GM 14695, purchase item of what? 4251, $4,251. So you can look at it. So you can always pick ranges. You can always break down the data set into what you want, what you're looking for per time. So data frame is very easy. It's not something that you should be scared of when you are working with pandas. Why? Because majorly it measures on rows and columns. Once you're used to all this code and this code formats, you'll be able to work on anything whatsoever. So I want you to go over the video again, work with the data set. If you pick another data set, use the name of the data set here where we have order.df, and practice. If you have any question, feel free to drop it in the comment section. I will answer your question, and if there is any topic you want me to teach and explain better, I would like to have it in the comment section, and I will come up with that video so that you'll be able to learn. Let's learn together in this community. I love you all. Please subscribe to this channel, Tech Academy, share with families and friends, and let me know your view and opinion of the channel. Thank you. Love to see you in the next video. Bye.